Kim Kardashian screamed, "I have babies and I need to live," at robbers who burst into her Paris hotel suite before tying her up and stealing $10 million of her jewelry, a court in Paris heard today. Simone Bretter, Kardashian's personal stylist who was hiding in a bathroom when the raid was carried out, said she feared the socialite and reality television star had been raped following her terrifying ordeal in 2016. Kardashian, now 44, was tied up and gagged when she was targeted by thieves while visiting Paris Fashion Week. Today marks the first time she will confront the suspected Grandpa gang of Paris robbers who allegedly held her at gunpoint at a trial in the French capital. 1649. Kardashian posted Snapchat confirming she was alone in apartment, court told. A lawyer representing Gary Matter, one of the defendants accused of taking part in the robbery, has asked Ms. Bretter whether Kardashian had advertised she was alone in the Paris apartment. Ms. Bretter was questioned whether Kardashian had posted a Snapchat shortly before the raid telling fans everyone had gone out for the night and left her all alone. The former stylist said she couldn't say whether the Snapchat was posted or not. The lawyer then tells Ms. Bretter she said Kardashian kept her hotel window open and was visible. Ms. Bretter said that was correct but added she didn't believe people could see her from the street. 1645. Simone Bretter, it was impossible to leave bathroom during robbery. Ms. Bretter has told how she found it impossible to leave her hiding place in the bathroom during the robbery as she feared she would be attacked. Asked by the prosecutor why Kardashian was so afraid she considered jumping out of the hotel window, she replied, "We didn't know if they were still in the hotel. We didn't know if they had come for Kim particularly or they were robbing the whole hotel. We were afraid for our lives. I was afraid that if I left my hiding spot I would be hurt. It was impossible for me to leave." 1640. Kardashian ultimately decides if jewelry is posted on social media. Ms. Bretter was asked whether it was her decision as Kardashian's stylist to post pictures of jewelry on social media. She that while sometimes the friends jointly agreed on what to post, ultimately Kim decided what was posted on social media. She added, "I think part of Kim's job is that she posts all the time." 1636. I thought Paris apartment was inconspicuous. Kardashian stylist questioned over security. The prosecutor is now questioning Simone Bretter on hers and Kardashian's security arrangements while staying in Paris. Asked whether she had previously been afraid for her security, she said she hadn't. She was then asked her thoughts on being housed in the duplex apartment where she stayed on the first floor and Kardashian above. She told the court, "When I heard we were staying there I thought it would be good, because it was inconspicuous. I can't speak about Kim's security details. Also Pascal is very capable man. I've worked with him with other clients. He could manage a number of people at the same time." 1624. Simone Bretter. I've seen Kardashian through the worst of times, but never like that. Simone Bretter has told the court she had never seen Kim Kardashian in a state of extreme tension before despite supporting her through grief and divorce. Asked by Kardashian's lawyer Benjamin Matout about the impact the robbery had on her friend, Ms. Bretter broke down in her response as she reiterated she believed Kardashian was being raped and could die in the attack. She said, "I have never seen her like that. I've seen her through the death of family, through divorce, through the worst of time, in very, very difficult times, but I've never seen her like that. I think for a long time afterwards, she went to therapy because of this. She lost her freedom. I can't even go to her house anymore without being announced. Her life is completely different." 1619. Kardashian stylist changed careers to avoid working with celebrities. Kim Kardashian's friend and personal stylist told the court how she changed her careers following the robbery in 2016 to avoid working with celebrities. Simone Breder said she switched to interior design as she became fearful of being around wealthy stars. Asked by Kardashian's lawyer Leonore Henurich how the robbery affected her, she said she burst into tears on the plane coming home and cried almost all the way. "I remember crying next to a stranger and I remember thinking this person must think that I had lost my mind." Questioned on how it had changed her life, she said, "After this I didn't want to work with celebrities anymore. I didn't want to travel with them. So I stopped working. Then I changed careers and started working in interior design. That experience was very stressful for me and it made me very fearful of being around celebrities, and so I opted for a different profession. I had therapy for post-traumatic stress. To this day I'm very sensitive to loud noise. To be woken up to screaming is not a normal thing. Films and loud noises scare me." 1605. Kardashian has completely different lifestyle following robbery. Kim Kardashian lost her sense of freedom and now lives a completely different lifestyle following the robbery in Paris 9 years ago, a court heard today. Simone Breder said the robbery changed both hers and Kardashian's lives forever. Asked about whether she has talked with Kardashian about her ordeal, she told the court, "Yes, we've spoken about it. I think that moment forever. It changed for both of us. But particularly her loss of freedom. She now has a completely different lifestyle. In terms of security, she can't go alone. She doesn't go alone anymore. To lose your sense of freedom is horrible." Asked by the judge what she wanted from the trial, Ms. Breder said she wanted justice to be served. 1600. Simone Breder, Kardashian robbery wasn't as result of social media. Ms. Breder has told the court she doesn't believe Kim Kardashian was robbed because she flaunted her jewelry on social media. Asked whether Kardashian considered the risk of wearing expensive valuables, Ms. Breder told Judge David DePaul that she had worked with many celebrities and none had thought they should wear jewelry in case they get robbed. Questioned on whether Kardashian's social media posts may have led to the raid, Ms. Breder said she didn't believe so. 1551. Kardashian looked for way to escape hotel in case robbers returned. Taking questions from Judge David DePaul, Ms. Breder is asked about Kardashian said to her immediately following the robbery. She tells him, she was not making much sense. It was clear she had experienced extreme trauma. She was saying, "I've got to call Kanye. I've got to call my mom. There were these men." She also told the court Kardashian said the pair needed to find an escape route in case the robbers returned to the hotel suite. "We were in my room, which had doors to the outside. She said we have to jump out. Then we ran into the areas where the clothes racks were, where there are doors to a courtyard. That was where the tape was." She was trying to find a way to be safe. Asked whether it was normal that Kardashian's bodyguard Pascal Duvier was absent at the time, Ms. Breder said it was very normal. "We never thought that when in the hotel room, we should fear for our safety." 1544. "I just wanted to go home." By Nick Fag in Paris. Simone Breder has told the court she spent about 10 to 15 minutes in the bathroom while the robbery on Kardashian was carried out, but that it felt like an hour. Ms. Breder was on the first of a two-story suite when Kardashian was targeted. Explaining the scenes immediately afterwards when she was met by Kardashian bound by her feet, she told the court she just wanted to go home. She added, "I took tape off her ankles. I believe she had tape on her mouth, but she had taken it off." 1540. Simone Breder. Kim was not in her body, she was in so much shock. Ms. Bretter has described how traumatized Kim Kardashian was not in her body when her bodyguard arrived at their hotel following the heist. A couple of hours later, police arrived to take statements, according to Ms. Bretter. Speaking to the court, she said, "I can say that for Kim, it was like she was not in her body, she was in so much shock from trauma. We didn't know where the men were, or if they would come back." She said police officers at the scene were focused on Kardashian and that she was confused. They didn't want a more detailed statement from her. She added, "At one point I asked Kourtney friend who spoke French to ask if anyone wanted to take my statement. It was more like, oh, you were here." He didn't ask many questions. 1533. I feared Kim Kardashian had been raped. Ms. Bretter has told the court in Paris she feared the worst for Kim Kardashian, adding she was worried the reality TV star had been raped or violated by robbers who burst into her hotel suite. Speaking in court, she said, "I thought they were coming to me next. And I was very afraid about what was happening to my friend upstairs. I had no idea what was going on. I feared she was raped or violated. I feared the worst. It felt a long time. Then the noises stopped." Ms. Bretter then said she heard Kardashian call out her name and scream, "Are they gone?" before the star entered her room with her feet taped together. She continued, "She just was screaming, 'We need to get out of here, we need help. We may need to jump out of first floor, what are we going to do?' She was thinking, how are we going to be safe? How are we going to survive?" 1527. Kim Kardashian told thieves, "I have babies and I need to live." Ms. Bretter has said she heard Kim Kardashian shout, "I have babies and I need to live," as she was being robbed in her luxury Paris hotel room. She said she became very afraid for her life and Kardashian's as she scrambled to find her phone and raise the alarm. She texted bodyguard Pascal Duvier, who was out in Paris with Kourtney Kardashian. She told the court, "I went to the door of my room to make sure what I heard was true and to lock the door to my room. I heard rumbling, loud noises, men screaming, and Kim was still screaming. I didn't have the lock on the door. I thought, I'm going to be next, and how am I going to get help?" 1521. Simone Bretter. I heard sound of terror coming from Kim Kardashian's room. Simone Bretter has told the court she was woken up to the sound of terror coming from Kim Kardashian's room as the raid unfolded. She explained she went to her room after they attended the Givenchy show during Paris Fashion Week and that she had no plans to head out again. Ms. Bretter said she fell asleep to background noise but woke to screams. "I should say before I go further that not only have I worked for Kim, I've also been friends with her for a long time. So this is to say I know her very well, I know her sounds, mannerisms. I know when she's laughing, happy, or when she's more serious. We've been friends since we were little girls. So when I heard the sound it was very different and it woke me up. It was a sound I'd never heard from Kim. It was terror." 1505. Kim Kardashian's stylist enters court. Simone Bretter, Kim Kardashian's stylist, who managed to raise the alarm with her bodyguard during the raid, has entered the courtroom. She is said to have locked herself in a bathroom and called Kardashian's bodyguard Pascal Duvier, who was at a nightclub with Kim's sisters Kourtney and Kendall. Dressed in a black suit and white blouse, the blonde-haired young woman appeared nervous as she chatted with her French legal team ahead of giving evidence. She is sat within touching distance of one of the defendants, the imposing figure of Marc-Alexandre Boyer, who along with his father Marc Boyer is accused of providing the guns and the ammunition used in the heist. Ms. Bretter is expected to give her evidence in English and for her words to be translated into French by a court-appointed translator. 1455. Accused file into court wearing masks. The 10 defendants accused in the Kim Kardashian heist trial have filed into court, many with their faces hidden by surgical masks. The principal defendant Omar Kedik, aka Old Omar, took his seat closest to the judge's chair. He is accused of masterminding the $10 million raid and being one of 2 men who held her up at gunpoint. His former mistress Christiane Glodin, aka Kathy, wandered out of the well of the court to kiss a French journalist sat on the press benches on both cheeks and to exchange a few words. The hotel concierge at the time, Abdurrahman Wadiki, who was also held up at gunpoint and yesterday told the court he thought he was going to die, also took his seat in the court reserved for victims. 1450. Alleged heist ringleader is 80% disabled, court hears. The suspected ringleader of the Grandpa gang that stole £10 million worth of jewellery from Kim Kardashian can now barely speak or hear, a court was told last month. Omar Kedik, 70, has already admitted using a revolver in the raid on the reality TV star's Paris penthouse in 2016. Kedik, who is nicknamed Old Omar, has been declared 80% disabled, said his defense barrister, Chloe Arnaud. His son, the alleged getaway driver Harmony Kedik, has already complained that having his father appear in court is a source of stress. The Frenchmen are both said to have played crucial roles in the robbery that subjected terrified Kardashian after the American arrived in France for Paris Fashion Week. 1439. Aging French criminal admits he regrets Kim Kardashian robbery. One of the gang who wrote a boastful and mocking book about robbing Kim Kardashian at gunpoint has previously told a court, "I do regret what I did, it opened my eyes." Younis Abbas, 72, has admitted his role in the raid targeting the American reality TV star, in which $10 million of jewelry was stolen and never recovered. Appearing at the Paris Assizes last month, Judge David Pa said to Abbas, "Listening to you, it sounds like you only ever feel sorry for yourself. Do you have any sympathy for your victims?" Abbas, who is 72 and who underwent a triple bypass operation during a spell in prison, answered, "I do have regrets. Before I didn't, but this time I do regret what I did. This case has opened my eyes." The Kim Kardashian case was being talked about on TV all the time, and it led to me asking some questions. 1431. Armed police patrol Paris streets as capital awaits Kardashian appearance. A vast security operation unfolded in Paris today as Kim Kardashian prepared to tell a court how she feared being shot and killed, as she was robbed of $10 million worth of jewels. Hundreds of extra police and gendarmes were mobilized around the historic Palais de Justice in the center of the French capital, where the 44-year-old American reality TV star was due on Tuesday afternoon. Ms. Kardashian arrived in France on Monday afternoon via a private jet which landed at Paris Le Bourget Airport. Surrounded by security guards, she was driven to a secret location to prepare for her appearance at the Paris Assizes. She has been told by her lawyers not to say anything until after her appearance in court, which is likely to last a couple of hours. The public prosecutor's office confirmed that a specific security arrangement is planned to make sure Ms. Kardashian got in and out of the Voltaire chamber of the Assizes safely. Reinforcements could be seen lining the streets outside by first light on Tuesday morning, and they included Special Forces officers with heavy machine guns. 1423. Journalists queue at dawn to enter Paris courthouse. Hundreds of journalists from across the world queued since dawn outside France's most prestigious court this morning to hear Kim Kardashian's bombshell account how she was robbed at gunpoint in a terrifying jewel heist 9 years ago. The earliest reporters to arrive began queuing at 5 a.m., some 4 hours before the court building opened. Reporters vied for a limited number of seats inside the Voltaire Room at the Paris Palais de Justice at the heart of the French capital. A second courtroom has been opened for journalists following via video feed. Ms. Kardashian is expected to relive the terrifying raid in the WASKI hours of 3 October 2016 this afternoon. But first the court will hear from her assistant Simone Bretter, formerly known as Simone Harouche, who managed to hide inside the luxury hotel apartment during the raid. 1415. Everything we know about the Grandpa Gang. The gang of thieves at the center of the Kim Kardashian heist were dubbed the Grandpa Gang by the French media, as most are now in their 60s and 70s and suffering from a range of illnesses including Alzheimer's. They were charged following an extensive investigation launched following the robbery 8.5 years ago during one of the busiest weeks in the Parisian calendar, Paris Fashion Week. 12 suspects were charged, but only 10 are standing trial in Paris, 9 men and 1 woman, with proceedings delayed as a result of COVID and other high-profile cases. One of the suspects, Pierre Big Pierrot Bouillonnier, 72, was ruled unfit to enter the dock because he is suffering from Alzheimer's, while another, Marceau Baumgartner, has since died. Those taking the stand face charges including armed robbery, membership of a criminal gang, and kidnapping, which refers to Kardashian being held hostage at gunpoint. Some are accused of aiding in the organization of the robbery. 8 of the accused deny any involvement, while 2 suspects, Eunice Abbas, 72, and Aomar Kedik, 70, have admitted participating in the heist. The other men on trial include, Gary Matter, 35-year-old, is accused of being an informant, potentially providing information about Kardashian's location. Mark Boyer, 78-year-old, is accused of obtaining the gun used in the robbery. Mark Alexander Boyer, 36-year-old son of Mark Boyer, who is accused of participating in the robbery. Harmony Kedik, 38-year-old son of Omar, who is accused of tailing the reality TV star's limousine as she was driven around the city. Didier Debroc, 69-year-old, is accused of being one of the 2 men who entered Kim's penthouse and put a gun to her head. François Delaporte, 61-year-old, is accused of taking part in the robbery. Christiane, Kathy, Glodin, 78-year-old, is accused of helping to organize the Kardashian heist, and allegedly traveled to Antwerp to sell the swag, the only female defendant. Floris Haroui, 52-year-old, is accused of passing on information about Ms. Kardashian's movements in Paris to old Omar. 1400. Duct tape and DNA. How French police tracked down suspects. Surveillance footage helped French police reconstruct the timeline of the robbery, but the breakthrough came from a trace of DNA left on the plastic ties used to bind Kardashian. It matched Aomar Kedik, a veteran criminal whose DNA was in the national database. Phone taps and surveillance led police to others, including Eunice Abbas and Didier Debroc, known as U Blues. Most of the accused have long criminal records. Abbas later claimed he was unaware of Kardashian's identity during the heist. But investigators say the men acted with detailed planning and discipline. Prepaid phones were activated the day before the heist and abandoned immediately afterward. 1355. How much jewelry was stolen in heist of the century? Masked men walked away with millions of dollars worth of jewels in what was described by the French media as the heist of the century. At the centerpiece was an 18.8-carat diamond ring given to Kardashian by her then-husband, rapper Kanye West. The jewel was valued at €3.5 million, $3.9 million, alongside the ring, a yellow gold Rolex Cosmograph Daytona, 7 Cartier and Hermes bracelets, and 3 gold and diamond grills were also taken. The total estimated value of the raid was estimated at around $10 million. One of the robbers, Pierre Big Pierrot Bouillonnier, 72, is believed to have dropped one platinum cross adorned with diamonds that was found the next morning. The item was the only piece returned to Kardashian after it was handed in at a nearby police station. 1350. The 49-minute raid which left Kim Kardashian bound and gagged like a sausage. Today's trial dates back to the audacious early hours raid in October 2016 during Paris Fashion Week when Kim Kardashian was at the height of celebrity and married to rap superstar Kanye West. Ms. Kardashian, then 35, was alone in the penthouse apartment of her £13,500 a night hotel, dozing on the bed in a silk nightgown, when two men disguised as policemen burst into the room and put a gun to her head. The celebrity was bound and gagged, like a sausage, and dumped in the bath of her ensuite bathroom while robbers spent 49 minutes snatching millions of pounds worth of gems and watches, including her 88-carat diamond engagement ring. As they fled, one robber dropped a platinum cross adorned with diamonds that was found the next morning. Visibly traumatized Kim Kardashian fled the country by private jet after giving a brief statement to French detectives and was consoled by husband Kanye West, who halted a concert, telling fans he had a family emergency. Ms. Kardashian has been denied justice for years, with delays on bringing the case to court blamed on the priority of high-profile terrorist trials. 1345. Mail podcast examines courtroom revelations in robbery trial. A new podcast has launched, part of the Mail's award-winning The Trial series, which looks at the elderly masterminds who stand accused of enacting the 2016 robbery of Kim Kardashian in her Paris hotel room. Hosted by the Mail's acclaimed crime correspondent Caroline Cheatham and reporter in Paris Nick Fagg, the first episode of this new series lays the groundwork for the long-awaited trial of 10 suspects, dubbed the Grandpa Gang by French media. Listen to full episodes now of The Trial, Kim Kardashian Heist, as Cheatham and Fagg share all the revelations about the gang from the trial. 1340. When will Kim Kardashian give evidence? We're expecting Kim Kardashian to testify in Paris at around 2 p.m. local time, 1 p.m. UK time. Before she gives evidence, we're expecting to hear from her stylist Simone Bretter. Bretter, a friend of Kardashian who has known her since she was 11, was staying in Paris at the time of the raid but on a different floor. She is said to have locked herself in a bathroom and called Kardashian's bodyguard Pascal Duvier, who was at a nightclub with Kim's sisters Kourtney and Kendall. 1337. Kim Kardashian to confront Grandpa Gang suspects accused of robbing her in Paris. Hello and welcome to Mail Online's live coverage as Kim Kardashian testifies in a Paris court against the suspected thieves who allegedly targeted her in a terrifying jewellery heist in the French capital. 9 years ago, Kardashian was tied up, gagged and locked in a bathroom inside a luxury hotel by a group of thieves who had disguised themselves as police officers. She was allegedly targeted by criminals after showing off her jewelry on social media. The American businesswoman and reality TV star later fled the country by private jet after speaking to French detectives. In previous years, she has told how the raid left her afraid to be alone and that she thought she would be killed by the robbers, but more recently that she is ready to face her assailants. Stick with us as we bring you the latest from Kardashian's appearance in the courtroom, with Nick Fagg reporting from the Paris Criminal Court and Jamie Bullen in London.